Kira, how you gonna write off that timeshare that you bought in Cancun when you were on vacation and had about 7 too many margaritas? Well, I think Juan Guzman had sold me a bill of goods, and all that crap he told me on the table after about 7 watermelon margaritas is not quite as true as he would like me to believe. So you're saying you can't write off your timeshare? Or do you have any tax tricks you figured out using your super secret ninja ways? Well, I think I'm gonna have to talk to my CPA about that, but I got some real problems with old Jose Guzman or whatever his name was. I got some real problems because tax time's coming up and I don't think there's shit I can do about it. I know, Kira, I just got my tax bill. Another couple $100,000 to the government. That's great. I hear you. Can you write off your timeshare? No, you cannot. But there's always a but. But there is a way. Okay, so you bought this thing, you have it, you pay these yearly maintenance costs. Are there any tax deductions? Some of them, yes. Some of them, like Marriott, you can write off like the property taxes, which is pretty negligible, maybe $80 to $100 per week. Is there any straight way to write off your maintenance costs? No, not really. Maybe you can, but I mean, there's tricks to do it. You can do it. I do it every year. Here's how I do it. Now, give you my disclaimers. I went to Sacramento City College and New Mexico State. I don't even think I went to any of the classes. Well, no, I went to one. Anyways, so I'm not a CPA is what I'm trying to say. So contact your local CPA or your guy, because everybody's CPA is different. Every IRS person you ask is different. So I read this book, and I read this book, Lower Your Taxes by Sandy Botkin. I'm sure there's a couple other people that do it now as well. He's the best one on showing you how to legally reduce your tax bill to almost zero. That's where I got most of this information. So you can get that book on Amazon, I'm sure. I think he's even has an app for it too. Probably just check the app store, Lower Your Taxes. So, okay, so what you do, there's no way to write off your timeshare maintenance fees, okay? But here's what you can do. I went over this a little bit in some of my other videos, but here's what you can do. Now, this only works on the years you're gonna rent it, or what I always encourage people to do, if you're gonna buy a timeshare, buy 2 of them, 2 or 3 of them, or buy enough points equivalent in 2 or 3 weeks of points, okay? And then you take some and you rent it out. Okay, now this writing off only works if you're paying taxes. So if you're making 40 grand or less, then you're not really paying income tax that much anyways. So, but if you're making more than that, which you probably are if you bought a timeshare, because you're most likely making 60 to 100K plus. So for most people, this will be, and it like is crazy to me that nobody does this, or most people don't do it or won't do it, but then they'll call on their credit card and spend 2 hours on the phone with their credit card over a wrong $100 charge, okay? The easiest way to take tax deductions with these things and to lower your tax bill just in general, I've been doing this since I was 26. When I was 26 years old, I went from being a bartender to my first year, and I made like 2 grand a month or whatever. And then my first year in timeshare sales, I was like the #1 guy in the whole company, and I made $226,000. And my accountant's like, yeah, you owe like $50,000. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, so I learned about taxes. And then after that first year, I read every book on how to legally reduce them as fast as possible. So for the last 15, 18 years, however long, I've gotten my tax bill to 10 to 15%. Doing this, it's all legal. It's all stuff they write in there, so they can take advantage of too. And I could care less if you do it or not, but this is what I found that works. Okay, so take some, you have timeshare, rent some of it out. If you own more than a week, this is gonna be your best scenario. Or if you just own 1 week, obviously you wouldn't be able to use it, but take it. Hi, say, yeah. You're nice. Right on, have a good day. Everybody loves Akira's beautiful face, huh? Okay, so set up an LLC. You can go to like incorporate.com now for $99. Well, it's not 99 plus like your state fee or whatever. You usually want to recommend setting up in low-cost states like Wyoming or Montana, stuff like that. Don't do it in California, that's for sure. It's like a minimum $1,000, but all these states are starting to add fees. So anyways, probably costs you like $200 to $500 a year to have a corporation. But and like everybody thinks your business, you have to own like a gas station or a grocery store or a clothing store or plumbing shop. No, a business is anything you try to do to make money. There's no rule on how much money your business has to make. There's something like 30 million small businesses in the United States, and I think it's like 60% of them don't make any money. And then like most of them make, it's like 80% make $30,000 a year or less. So there's no rule on how much money you have to make. You just have to be trying to do something to make money. Now you can only show a loss for like 5 years before it becomes a hobby or whatever. Ask your advisor, because it changes probably every year. They change 10,000 things. Hey, try to be helpful. Try to be helpful. Okay. So set up a corporation, LLC. Okay. The reason being, you might be like, well, shit, that, you know, that's more than my maintenance costs and all that. But most people own 2 or more weeks of timeshare. And if you're going to rent some out, if you're going to rent out your points, you can do that on your own. Who knows? You could get, you know, $1,000 to $5,000 for your week, depending upon what you own, where you own at, what week you book. Okay. Of course, you can always rent your points through us. We do that for you. That's what our business is, renting out people's timeshare points from all the major developers. So you can rent it out through us, and we take care of everything for you, but you don't make a ton, or if more than your maintenance fees, depends on how your ownership's set up. But anyways, so set up the company. LLC takes about 10 minutes online. Or you can file it yourself. I mean, you can go to the state website, just probably a couple papers probably. So you can do it yourself and save that money and then just pay the fee. But it's usually easier, even if you just do their basic package on LegalZoom or incorporate.com for like 99 to $100. You set it up, okay? Now, what does that do? What does that do? Okay, so your business is gonna be renting out this timeshare, all right? Or your timeshare points, okay? So then you either watch my other videos on how to rent it. So you call and book the best reservation you can a year out, say New Year's, sorry for the noise, busy day, the Brentwood Fire Department. So awesome in Nashville, it's like rainy, overcast like every day. You didn't get that in Las Vegas. So your business is renting out your timeshare week or your timeshare points, and then you'll just claim the income you get from that rental as your business income. But what it allows you to do is, it keeps tangling me up. Try to walk straight. It gives you a variety of different tax deductions you can take. So you can take, if you have a business setup, if you have a room in your house with a computer, you can take what's called the home office deduction, which is up to the square footage of that room, which is usually around, 15, 20% of your house. So say you have a $3,000 mortgage, $4,000 mortgage. That's $800 with 20%, 700, 7 times 5. Yeah, so say about $700 a month. You could write off. So that's times 12, $8,400 of a tax deduction right there. Now, how do tax deductions work if you don't know that? The cash value, whatever the deduction is, you times that by your tax bracket. So if you're an engineer or whatever, you make 120 grand a year, or a nurse, and you're in the, say, 27% bracket or 28% bracket. Well, a $7,800 tax, what did we say? $8,400 tax deduction times 26%, what is that? Like $2,400, something like that. So say, I mean, there's different levels of the tax. You only pay that percentage on certain levels. So call it $1,500 to $2,000 back in cash value just by setting up. And that either means you get a bigger refund at the end of the year, or if you're smart, change your exemptions at work. So if you're claiming like 0 or 1 and you always get a tax refund, you could change your exemptions to like 6 or 7. I used to always have mine at 9. So you got very little, as little as possible tax taken out. And then at the end of the year, I wouldn't get a huge refund, but I'd get all that money throughout the year to invest or probably do stupid stuff like buy a second home at the top of the 2006 real estate market and then crash immediately. So, well, you know, do whatever you want with it, obviously. So you get that deduction. Then you can write off up to 20% of your power bill, your phone bill, your gas bill, your whatever. So say you add all that stuff up, there's another, say $300 a month for power. What's that? $3,600 a year plus your phone bill, $2,400, $5,400. So your gas bill, $100, $1,200, $7,600. Your trash bill, a couple $100. You start adding all that stuff up, right? Now you're at $8,400 for the home office, then 20% of $7,000 for your bills. So it's at another $1,400. Now you're at $9,800. Then you can, because you're using the timeshare for business purposes, now you could write off the maintenance fee. So if you used 1 week and then you rent it out 1 week, you'd write off half of your maintenance cost. As you're, just like if you own a rental home, you're allowed to write off, you know, the cost of maintenance and repairs. You know how like they say, oh, Donald Trump didn't pay any taxes. Well, no shit, he didn't pay any taxes, because that's how the tax code's set up, to encourage you to buy real estate and stuff. So those, yeah, a lot super rich people don't really pay much taxes smartly because they just use the tax code, which was written by the people. So it's all in the law. So like I think Amazon didn't even pay taxes 1 year and they made like $10 billion. So it's just using the tax code how they've written it. So but if you just want to pay tax, go ahead. I'm sure they take donations. So they could do a bunch of smart stuff with it. Okay, so you got home office deduction, your so your maintenance fees. So where were we at? We got $8,400 plus 20% of the 7,000. So what's that? $9,800 plus your maintenance fees. Say your maintenance fees is $3,000. There's another $1,500. 9,000. Okay, my timer cut off the thing. Okay, so now you have 11,000 in tax deductions. Plus, what else am I forgetting? Oh, you can write off 1 trip per year. You're like the president. You know, you can write off one of your trips for a year for a meeting, or to go look at your property. So then you could write that off. There's another $2,000 to $4,000 deduction. You could write off the cost of your room plus your airfare to get there. So if you and your wife are on the company ownership, you can basically pay for one of your travel trips. Just say you took those things, right? There's like $14,000 in deduction for an average person who say owns a Wyndham timeshare with 300,000 or 400,000 points or more, or a Marriott person who owns 5,000 points or more, or a Worldmark person that owns 20,000 points or more. Now you just effectively got like $14,000 in tax deductions. So if you times that by your tax bracket, say roughly 20 to 25% of that would be what, 2,500? That's basically like $3,000 to $4,000 back at tax time in a bigger refund, or an extra $300 or $400 a month you don't have to pay in taxes. And obviously the more ownership you have, the bigger your house is, the bigger your bills are, you know, the more deductions you're going to have that way. So now say you, even if you only rent out your points through us for $2,000 and your maintenance fee on that portion was $1,800, okay, so now you got that $2,000 in income, but then you got the $3,000 in cash value from all the tax. So now you don't want to go that way? Oh my God, this dog. So now you got the $3,000. So you have that. Now you just got $5,000 basically for your one timeshare week. And it took you about, what, 10, 15 minutes to set up the corporation initially. And then at tax time, make sure you have an accountant who does business taxes as well. Do not use like H&R Block or any of those places that are a complete waste of time. You need a CPA who does business taxes or independent contractor taxes to do it for you. They'll know what to do. All you really need to do is, you know, just take a copy of your maintenance fee bill. That's all you really need. Oh, and then the depreciation from what you paid for the timeshare originally. So say you paid $25,000 for that week. Well, you can depreciate real estate. So you could depreciate that over 20 years. There's another $1,000 or $1,500 deduction. There's another $400 or $500 back. So by just having your, and you'll have to pay your accountant like $200 or $300 to probably do your business taxes. So you got the yearly corporation fee, $100 to $200, plus the accountant doing the thing. So you got maybe $500 a year in cost, but you're gonna get $3,000 to however much more stuff you have, timeshares you have, all that stuff. So you can get like $3,000 to $10,000 back plus, basically in cash value, you know, depending upon what you own, for setting up that $300 thing. And then they'll just apply that business loss of $10,000 to $15,000 to your personal income, and that just lowers your tax bill or gives you the bigger refund on your personal taxes. So that's how the poor Mexican does it, who made a lot of money and hates taxes. So that's my strategy for writing off your timeshare maintenance. Let me know if you have any questions or you want me to go over further. And then if you want points, you know, we can rent out your points for you. Just contact us, email us at support@timesharesimplified.com, or go to our website. Links are in the description, timesharesimplified.com. You can download our app from the App Store, Timeshare Simplified, and you can get an instant quote on how much we will pay you for your points, depending upon which developer you do. We don't do every developer, but we do most of the major ones, except for Hilton. We still don't, and that's not quite in the system as of now. What's it? April of 2023. Dog, quit. Now she's sitting. Now she's saying, okay, but contact us if you need help, and we can rent out your points for you. There's never a cost. There's no money up front. We can point you where to go. If you need to sell your timeshare or get out of it or get out of the loan, we can point you in the right direction, or anything we can do to help. And you can get my book, Timeshare Tips and Tricks, on Amazon. All right, peace out. Love you guys.